See this right here? Right now, I'm at the sweet spot. In terms of beards, I've tried everything from being completely clean-shaven and a beard down to my chest. And I've seen that for each inch your beard grows, it's like the universe will reshuffle its deck and give you a new identity to play with, like a costume. So let's see how this works. First, men have a very specific response to beards. Your man card is pre-stamped. It's just instant respect and admiration. It occurred to me when this happened a few times, I'd be at a bar or a club, and I think I'm in trouble because a bouncer would pull me outside and he'd say, "Hey man, how do you grow a beard like that?" Or I'd be at a coffee shop and there'd be some guy whispering to his girlfriend, pointing at me, and the girl would say, No, it's okay, your beard's fine as it is, don't worry. So I'm like, where is this coming from? And I realize not everyone can grow a beard, and that affects everything. In a room of clean-shaven men, you have no idea who's doing it by choice and who's shit out of luck. In a way, it's kind of like a celibacy lifestyle where whether you chose it or it was forced upon you kind of makes the difference. So along with a sense of like genetic superiority at work with the beard envy, there's also the fact that a beard has always been a very traditional masculine symbol. It's kind of like having a deep voice where it's ultimately meaningless, but we all agreed to roll with it anyway. Now, there is a cost to this. When you have a beard, your man card is pre-stamped. People are nodding at you, giving the chin of respect. They're getting out of your way, compliments, elevated status among males, but part of being a man is getting tested, both by the world itself and from other men. And when you have that beard, it's just assumed your masculinity is dialed in. So you start to lean on the beard after a while, and you get complacent. You get a little soft and squishy on the inside. And I found that once I shaved my beard off, it's like, boom, all this disrespect and test started coming my way. I could be at a restaurant and someone would put their hand on my chair, like, what the hell? So I had to kind of energetically regrow the beard and the armor. Now, for women, it's very different. You might be wondering, does having a beard make it easier to date? Are you more or less attractive? Now, the problem is it's not that simple, because every woman has an opinion, but not everyone gets to vote. What you really want to think about is something I'd call the conversion threshold, where it's what women are going to change their decision about dating you from a yes to a no, or a no to a yes, depending on your precise beard length at that time. That's a little harder to spot than you might think. You have the women who knew you before you had the beard, and now it's down to here, and they're like, no, bad idea, abort, don't do it, shave. But the problem is most of these women weren't really digging you in the first place. It's more like they're saying, you know, I enjoyed not dating you more before you had the beard. Bring it back to that. So they don't count. Then you have the women who met you after you grew the beard. And they're saying, oh, you know, you'd be so hot if you shaved. But they're looking at you and underneath the fur, they're imagining Brad Pitt. They have no idea what you look like. So they don't count either. Then there's the women who absolutely love the beard. The bigger, the better. And they're a fiercely dedicated minority. You can take them very seriously, and they say things like, you must bring home a different girl every night with that beard. So, as you can see, the amount of women who find you attractive or even remotely acceptable is plummeting the bigger the beard gets. But the intensity of the desire of those women is just skyrocketing. So, where those lines intersect, you have a sweet spot. And that's a little different for everybody. If you're comfortable being very polarizing, you can just let your beard grow down to your feet and have fun. Even to be a cult leader, you only need 50 people to worship you, and the rest can think you're insane. So, now, as a side note, the longer the beard got, an interesting phenomenon happened where on those online dating sites, gay guys started messaging me quite a bit. None that were dashing enough to make me switch teams. But at some point, I was like, you know, for unrelated reasons, I shaved my beard. They all disappeared. Now, to wrap this up, there's a lot of power in growing a beard. You get to experience elevated status for a bit. It's fun, you know, you get to try out new identities. But at some point, you become the beard guy. The beard is all anyone wants to talk about. And at that point, the costume has become a cave. And it gets kind of lonely. and isolating. So at some point I decided I've finished the journey, it's time to get rid of it, so I shaved it all off, grew it back to what I have now. Now, what I can recommend for you is that if you're a man who has the power to grow a beard, and your woman will let you, I would say take the journey yourself. Experience what I'm saying viscerally and see how it adds in your own life.